Today we're making a very different video because something happened to me and I am very curious to find out if this has ever happened to you. Now, we've all bombarded ourselves, surrounded by social media every day, and the beauty of places like YouTube is that you can choose what videos to watch, and eventually the algorithm will figure out what you like to watch and will give you more of that. So if you get tired of a particular topic like politics or religion or anything, it will work out that if you do your thing right, then the algorithm will stop showing you what you don't want to see and start showing you what you want to see. That is not happening on Twitter. I don't know if you've been on Twitter recently or if at all, but someone or something broke the Twitter algorithm. And no, it doesn't really matter what you're into, it gives you more of a lot of things that you don't want to watch. To the point where I have noticed that more often than usual, they will stop showing me people that I am friends with and start showing me people that I have no relationship with and I don't agree with their views. So something happened today and I am actually going to read you the tweet thread I wrote about it. This is a dramatic reading. Enjoy. And oh, by the way, let me know if this has ever happened to you. Not necessarily with Twitter, but with any social media. And what did you do about it? Here we go. I just had a meltdown as I was driving my daughter to work. They want to buy a house in Florida and stay and fight. And by they, I mean my husband and my daughter. I'm tired of fighting, but there is a lot more to it than that. Have you ever felt like this? A thread. Until about a decade ago, I was not very knowledgeable about politics or specific politicians. I was not ignorant either. I was just busy with my life and keeping my family safe, fed, and taken care of. And I can tell you, I was a lot happier. It was not for lack of trying on my parents' part either. They were very politically involved back on the island. They volunteered to run schools on election days, helped some politicians get into office, and were very educated on the politics of the island and the United States. They took us kids to all the events. And to be honest, all I remember is a lot of very well-spoken men and one woman, who ironically is the mother of one of my dear friends who I met years after, talking about the future of the island. That was well over 40 years ago, and that has never happened. And by that, I'm referring to the future that they were all talking about. If anything, things are much worse on the island now than they were then. And that is sad to me. It is also a great lesson repeated in the last decade. I have been thinking about this for a while, and when Musk became CEO of Twitter, it cemented my resolve. You see, back in the old days, my parents used to say that the best artists are rarely discovered. I know my mother would have mopped the floor with so many great so-called singers back in the 60s through the 80s. My brother was a great piano player, an artist, and by that I mean he paints, he draws, he could do anything. The thing that became really obvious, especially now, is that much the same way, the richest people are not the smartest or even the hardest working. It's the greediest people who have the most money to flaunt. And those people drive the agenda that the politicians, who are also a bunch of greedy parasites, will be more than happy to create, legislate, and process for those greedy people who like to complain about how the rest of us are lazy and entitled. Really. And so, in recent months, I have noticed that the more I know about politics, the less happy I have become. The more I see people on this here bird app talking about racism, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, etc., the more I recognize that the loudest voices are not necessarily the ones doing the work. And so I've decided to take a vacation from all of this Twitter nonsense. I'm not closing my account, just deleting the app from my phone and logging off from the computer for a while. It is not a permanent decision, unless I can't get back in when I try, if I try to come back. Sometimes, though, mental health needs to be taken care of. I can't create the world I want if I spend so much time and energy arguing with people who don't want to listen or care to read. I think my time will be better served helping one person at a time and on other platforms where I can keep my TL, politics, and rich people free. I will miss you all. Then again, many of you know where to find me. I'm at the moment dead broke, and I'm convinced staying here or bitching about bad politicians serves no purpose. I need to help my family make a good life for themselves wherever we are. I want you to know that I will keep all the good vibes for all of you. Maybe I will come back, but if I don't, I wish you all the best. One thing I forgot to mention. When my parents were activists, they always got along with people they didn't agree with politically or religiously because deep in their hearts they knew those people also cared about the island, even when the solution they sought was not the same. The average person is not your enemy. They have just been convinced, groomed, and miseducated into believing that we are all enemies in order to divide and conquer. The powers that be are winning. Don't let them. And with all that said, I posted a link that I started last week where I was giving people options for free and for pay on things that they could do to support us and the channel. That included the PayPal, the Venmo, and the Cash App Q codes, as well as I also added the proof that on my phone I took down the Twitter app. I want to know if you've ever been through something like this with any social media and how you dealt with this, like I told you in the beginning. And if you've never had to deal with this, then I guess I'll see you on the next video. Bye.